Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Yahweh Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Alright, so today we're going to go into 1 Samuel 20th chapter. And, a quick recap of the 19th chapter. You have Saul openly orders Jonathan and his servants to kill David. And, Jonathan ends up warning David and persuades Saul to calm down a bit. And Saul made an oath not to kill David, but he broke that oath when he tried to kill David with the spear. And then you have David fleeing, and Michal helps him escape and deceived Saul. When Saul came looking, he deceived Saul's men by putting some kind of figure in David's bed. And David runs to Samuel. And every time Saul sent messengers to Ramah, to capture David, they started prophesying. Even got to the point where Saul himself went, and he also started prophesying. So yeah. So we're going to get into the 20th chapter. So this is 1 Samuel chapter 21, and it reads, "And David fled from Naioth and Ramah, and came and said before Jonathan, What have I done? What is my iniquity? And what is my sin before thy father, that he seeketh my life? And he said unto him, God forbid, thou shalt not die. Behold, my father would do nothing, either great or small, but that he would show it to me. Why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so. And David sware moreover, and said, Thy father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thine eyes. And he said, Let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, there is but a step between me and death. Slack here 1 second. All right. Verse 4. Then said Jonathan unto David. What's that? All right. Then said Jonathan unto David, Whatsoever thy soul desireth, I will even do it for thee. Right. So right now, you have David running to Jonathan and asking him why Saul wants to kill him. But Jonathan right now doesn't really believe that Saul wants to kill him, because if he doesn't believe his father will hide something like this from him. And David was like, he doesn't want to. His father doesn't want to tell him, because they know that Saul knows that David and Jonathan is close, so he doesn't want his son to grieve. Verse 5. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I shall not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field until the third day at even. If thy father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asks leave of me, that he might run to Bethlehem his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. If he say thus, It is well, thy servant shall have peace. But if he be very wroth, then be sure that the evil is determined by him. Therefore thou shalt deal kindly with thy servant, for thou hast brought thy servant into a covenant of the Lord with thee. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, slay me thyself. For why shouldest thou bring me to thy father? And Jonathan said, Far be it from me, for if I knew certainly that evil were determined by my father to come upon thee, then would I not tell it thee? Then said Jonathan to David, Who shall tell me? Or what if thy father answer thee roughly? And Jonathan said unto David, Come, let us go out into the field. And they went out both of them into the field. So right now, David is proposing a plan to test Saul's intentions, for lack of better words. You know, and then he's saying the plan is basically David's gonna hide himself until the third day at noon, at third day at even. And if Saul misses him, like if Saul asks where he's at, and Jonathan has to say he left for a yearly sacrifice in Bethlehem in the city for all the family. And if he takes it peacefully, then there'll be no evil. But if he becomes very angry, then you'll know that Jonathan will know that Saul was really trying to kill him. Carol's at verse 12. And Jonathan said unto David, O Lord God of Israel, when I have sounded my father about tomorrow any time, I have sounded my father about tomorrow any time, or the third day, and behold, if there be good toward David, and I then send not unto thee, and show it thee, the Lord do so, and much more to Jonathan. Okay, so this is Jonathan talking on to David. The Lord do so, and much more to Jonathan. But if it please my father to do thee evil, then I will show it thee, and send thee away, that thou mayest go in peace, and the Lord be with thee, as he hath been with my father. And thou shalt not, only while yet I live, show me the kindness of the Lord, that I die not. But also thou shalt not cut off thy kindness from my house forever. No, not when the Lord hath cut off the enemies of David, every one of from the face of the earth. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, Let the Lord even require it at the hand of David's enemies. And Jonathan caused David to swear again, because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. So this is basically Jonathan swearing his loyalty to David. Because Jonathan loved David. He loved him. They were very close. They had a beautiful bond. Then Jonathan said to David, Tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed. Because thy seat will be empty. And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then thou shalt go down quickly and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself, when the business was in hand, and shall remain by the stone Ezel. And I would shoot 3 arrows on the side thereof, as though I shot at a mark. And behold, I would send a lad, saying, Go find out the arrows. If I expressly say unto the lad, Behold, the arrows are on this side of thee, take them. Then come thou, for there is peace to thee and no hurt, as the Lord liveth. But if I say thus unto the young man, Behold, the arrows are beyond thee, go thy way, for the Lord hath sent thee away. And as touching the matter which thou and I have spoken of, behold, the Lord be between thee and me forever. Right, so this is still part of the plan. So after the 3 days, you know, Jonathan will go to the stone where David was hiding, and he's gonna shoot 3 arrows, and he's gonna now the key is he's gonna send a lad saying go find the arrows. And if he says that the arrows are on this side, then that means David should come back because there's peace. But if he says the arrows are beyond thee, then that means that David gotta run because there's no peace with Saul. And up above, you had Jonathan, like when he saw his loyalty, you had him saying that he would, yeah, he had, he said he will show David. So let me see. Yeah, he said that if he sees that his father wants to do evil, he will show it to him. But like basically, he won't hide anything from David. And since they're very close, David trusted it. So yeah. Uh, so verse 24. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat, and the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. So it's coming up. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, and David's place was empty, and Saul said unto Jonathan his son, Wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meet, neither yesterday nor today? And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, Let me go, I pray thee, for our family have a sacrifice in the city. My brother, he hath commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in thine eyes, let me go away. I pray thee, and see my brethren. Therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. So you have right here Saul at the feast of the first and second day. You have Saul noticing that David is gone, and Jonathan stuck to the plan. He gave the excuse that David went to Bethlehem. But to see what happens next. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, Thou son of perverse rebellious woman, do not. I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness. For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. Oh, 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 damn. Yep. And Jonathan answered Saul his father and said unto him, Wherefore shall he be slain? What have he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. So right there, see, Saul was very, yeah, he was He was angry. He was very angry, even to the point where he tried to kill Jonathan with a spear. Like, there's someone out here launching spears. Like, come on, bro. So after that, yes. After that, you could see Jonathan was like, "Yep, yep, David not coming back. He can't. He can't." After the insults saw through at Jonathan, even attempting to kill him, yeah, after that, Jonathan knew. Verse 34. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the second day of the month. So after that, he dipped, for he was grieved for David because his father had done him shame. And it came to pass in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the time appointed with David, and a little lad was with him. And he said unto his lad, Run, find out now the arrows which I shoot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. When the lad was come to the place of the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the lad and said, Is not the arrow beyond thee? That was David's cue to go. And Jonathan cried after the lad, Make speed, haste, stay not. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the lad knew not anything, only Jonathan and David knew the matter. And Jonathan gave his artillery unto his lad and said unto him, Go, carry them to the city. Yeah, so that was David's cue to go. Well, of course, Jonathan was in tears because his dad wants to kill David. David has to run. He may never see David again. You know, shit. And of course, the lad didn't know anything. It was only between Jonathan and David. Verse 41. And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of a place toward the south and fell on his face to the ground, bowed himself 3 times, and they kissed one another and wept one with another until David exceeded. Okay, sir. And Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, for as much as we have sworn both of us in the name of the Lord, saying, The Lord be between me and thee, and between my seed and thy seed forever. And he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. No, David and Jonathan had to say the goodbyes. But there was one word I'm looking at. Let me see. As the as soon as the boy was gone, David came out from where he had been hiding near the stone pile, and David bowed 3 times to Jonathan, with his face to the ground. Both of them were in tears as they embraced each other and said goodbye, especially David. What does exceeded mean? Until David exceeded. Let me see. To grow, become great, important, promote, a powerful, praise, magnify, do great things. Hmm. To make large. Hmm. Nothing good yet. And they kissed one another and wept one with another until David exceeded. Look at some other translations. Ah, but David wept the most. Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense. That the boy had gone, David got up from the south side of the stone and bowed down before Jonathan 3 times, with his face to the ground. Then they kissed each other and wept together. But David wept the most. Okay, so basically, David wept the most. I got it. So um, this chapter, David and Jonathan had a plan to uncover Saul's intentions, but it ended up with the worst case scenario, what they didn't want to happen, and lead to like a very tearful parting. But they stayed strong, they stayed loyal to each other, and they still loved each other. So that's the end of First Samuel, the 20th chapter. And until next time, Shalom.